everyone, it's time for day 3 of Muppetational Christmas 2013, and today we're looking at the TV special where Kermit made his debut as a frog.
Hey, Cinderella!
So, more than likely you already know the story of Cinderella, but for those of you who don't, let me explain. So, there's this little girl named Cinderella. She has that name because her evil stepmother and ugly stepsisters make her sit near the cinders, and she's basically their slave. Well, one day, the prince and the king throw a ball, and she's not allowed to go because she doesn't have a dress and she has no way of getting there. That is until her fairy godmother shows up and fixes that. She goes to the ball, dances with the prince, but she has to leave by midnight, otherwise all the transformations will be undone. She forgets her glass slipper. The prince finds it. They look all around the kingdom. They finally find her, and happily ever after. Well, this version has some differences, of course. One notable one being that they actually build the other characters other than Cinderella and the step family. They actually build up the prince. They give him a name, and they give him like a good backstory. Like, he doesn't really want to be a prince because when he is, everyone sees him as stuck up just because he's a prince, and he'd rather do stuff like gardening. Now, the king is really greedy, and the only reason he throws the party ball thing to begin with is so that everyone can bring presents for him. I don't want to give away too much just because it is a really unique telling of this story with a lot of great lines, a lot of great visual gags, and just a lot of great visuals overall. And in the transitions, they use this very storybook looking artwork, and it really complements the rest of the movie. Now, like I said, this is where Kermit the Frog officially became a frog, but the thing is, he's not in much of it. He has a little role in it. He's not a main character or anything, which I kind of like. It's nice to see Kermit just be in the background, and instead of being the main focus, he sort of helps the other characters. Well, somewhat helps the characters. But just all of the characters in it, there's only 3 characters. I think that should tell you who it is. There's only 3 characters that I don't really like, but all of the rest of them I do. The king is really funny, just what lengths he'll go to get stuff, to get presents from people. His assistant, who's just sort of no nonsense, but he has to put up with this really ridiculous king and just whole ridiculous system they go by. He has a really funny line towards the end of the movie.
I'm sorry, but in this kingdom, a dog's testimony is not admissible.
Heck, even Cinderella's dog is really entertaining. But, like I said, there are some characters I don't like. The step family, there's a fine line between being harsh and funny and being harsh and annoying, and they're just barely on that line between the two. They're kind of funny. I can't remember anything they said that particularly made me laugh, but I don't know. And also, I know this was an early special, but the puppets for the stepsisters aren't that great of quality. They just look kind of thrown together. One cool thing is seeing the monster Splurge. He didn't make many appearances. He was more of a early Muppet that just sort of disappeared like a lot of them did. But Splurge is hilarious. Even though he doesn't have many lines, just what he does is really funny. There's not really many songs in the special. I guess probably 2. The beginning song that they play over the credits, and then Cinderella gets a song before the fairy godmother shows up. And I like that because does help more with just building the characters instead of them just having to be around singing and stopping the story. Another problem I have, and this happens more of just throughout the special, and but mostly towards like the party and the ball part, is there's just some running gags that I don't get. Like there's one that's these musicians are playing, but they don't play good, but then it just transitions back to the regular party, and then it cuts back to them and they're doing something else. I don't know. I didn't find that funny. I was confused by it. Maybe if I don't know. But that first time I saw it, I just had no idea what they were trying to do, and I still don't. But that whole party scene is just weird. Now, another thing that's really good about this special is the relationship between Cinderella and the prince is so much deeper. It's not just, oh, we're at this party and I see you. Hey, I want to be with you. They meet beforehand, and the prince wants to be with Cinderella, but when they're at the party, it's a masked party, and so he doesn't realize that it's her, and all this other stuff, and she doesn't realize he's a prince, because when he meet, oh, there's so much to it, it's crazy. It's hard to explain something like this without going so deep into it and going on for like 30 minutes. All I can say is just check it out if you get the chance. If you want to see it, your best bet is to find it on VHS or probably on YouTube. But it's a great special, definitely one to check out. Even though it does have some problems, the overall is just fantastic.
You haven't seen my picture on the money?
What are you talking about?
What he's talking about, my dear girl, is simply that he is a frog.
I'm Arthur. I'm the gardener here.